Happy full moon today, guys. So I'm going over my December moon ritual that I normally do in December on the full moon, and it makes no sense. Like, I'm reading it and I'm like, what am I talking about? This doesn't even make sense. So, like, I think that I'm probably gonna have to write a new ritual for December. So, because this one makes no sense whatsoever. Tea and Tarot with Charlie and Cris should be starting like any minute now, and I keep reloading Cris Ashburn's page because I really want to do this because I've always never been able to go, and now I get to, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, all of her links are on Facebook. Actually, all the links to and my shamanic native background and my Filipino shamanism.
Woo! It's working again.
Internet problems on her, and actually, I'm going to change classic to timeless. So masculine, timeless, and there's almost like a fruity, musky, soapy smell.
So we all just finished with the Tea and Tarot gathering. It was super awesome, and like we all were talking to each other and everything. We started off the video with a grounding and ended it with a grounding, but during the second grounding, my chakras really started to hurt, specifically my heart chakra, although I felt some pain in my throat chakra and navel chakra. So I don't really know why that has been brought to my attention, so I'm thinking that I'm going to do something chakra related tonight. This was an awesome stream, that hangout that everyone could do together. I loved this. I really want to do this again. If any of you would like to join the Tea and Tarot thing, it's on Cris Ashburn's channel. Charlie Nichols and Cris Ashburn set it up. There was a third person today. They do guest stars for this, like specific people who are extremely knowledgeable about whatever form of divination that they're using in the video. They do a different form of divination every time, and they review and use a different incense and tea every single time. So if any of you would like to check that out, just go to Cris Ashburn's channel. I just finished rewriting my ritual. I'm thinking that I might need to do a complete reworking of my Book of Shadows. It's all jumbled because I haven't updated it in years, and I keep most of the stuff that I've been doing in my head and in my diaries, and I'd like to have a reference Book of Shadows just to have everything, just, you know, all of the rituals and spells that I do, so that everything's in one place, rather than having me dig through all of my diaries to find things that I'd done before in order to put things together again, because it would make my life a whole lot easier if I actually put all of that information in one place rather than all over. So I'm gonna need to do that. However, I'm extremely busy because of the holiday season, so it'll probably have to be in January that I do that, or after the holidays. Almost January, late December, early January, somewhere around there. I don't know. No guarantees of when. I just know that I've been thinking about this for a while, and now this has happened, and I had to rewrite my ritual. So I'm gonna have to go and get started, I guess. Staying motivated is one of the hardest things I do. So I just finished with my ritual and it was super awesome and awesomes. Although my phone was being really weird, like I was gonna get more pictures, but it died. Or so I thought. And then I went inside after the ritual was over and, you know, I was transferring stuff to my computer, and my phone was at 43% when I came back in. So I don't know what happened, but my phone's being weird. It just turned off for no reason, and my my phone case is actually broken, so when it's put together I can't click on the button to turn it back on anyways, so I just never ever turn it off. I was very surprised. But, you know, it actually turned off at a pretty good time for it to turn off, because that meant I had to do something a little different with my ritual than I was intending on doing, because I actually use my phone during my rituals usually. This time, I used my phone until it started. Then it died. Mysteriously. So, I'm thinking that it may be like a hint from the universe that possibly I maybe shouldn't use my phone. Or at least for this ritual. I don't know. So, that was interesting because I had to go completely off of memory with quite a few things that I was going to look up and reread while I was out there, so I wouldn't have to do the research beforehand. So my mind was just like, okay, I know things. Let me use my wonderful knowledge. Knowledge. At the very beginning of the entire ritual, I saw a shooting star. It was so beautiful, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a shooting star. I need to make a wish. And then I made a wish. And now I'm not going to tell anyone that wish. I didn't even tell my diary. I'm keeping my wish to myself. That way, the shooting star works. That way my wish will come true. That'll be so cool. I really hope that I get what I wish for. So, a lot of people talk about how if you're doing something out of love or out of fear, since those are opposite polarities according to a lot of different people when it comes to your intentions, I feel like the entire process of casting a circle is both out of fear and out of love. Because if you didn't believe that you needed to be protected from something, then you wouldn't need to cast a circle. You're scared of something attacking you. That's like completely fearful idea. But then of course there's always, well, dangerous things exist. Like, you kinda gotta be scared of some things. And so it actually is showing yourself love in order to cast a circle as well, because that makes it so that you're making sure that you're safe and you're cared for, and that's a completely loving thing to do. And if you're doing both those reasons at the same time, then you're casting a circle both out of fear and love. And a lot of people talk about how you shouldn't do things out of fear and how you should only do things out of love, but I'm not exactly sure that that is always the case, especially when it comes to magic. And that's specifically where people are talking about all this, because usually when people are talking about magic, they are like this is not a topic elsewhere usually. I mean, self-empowerment people do talk about this as well, and general life coach type people talk about this stuff too. But as an overall theme, usually people talk about it in relation to magic because they're thinking curses. They're thinking curses are always fearful and don't have love in them either, which is actually quite interesting, because to think fear is something that is a part of everyday life. Simply rejecting fear altogether is not exactly the best way to go about things, in my opinion. And, like, I was thinking about this, like, a lot right after the beginning of the ritual, because I felt so much safer after I cast my circle, and I'm like, well, that's always a thing. I feel scared when I'm going outside pretty frequently if I'm by myself at night. And I'll still do it. It's still a thing that I do, but I feel entirely safe in my circle, like, every time that I make one. And then when I close it again, I get extremely fearful that everyone's gonna come and steal my shit. Like, I'm scared of getting hurt before I cast the circle. And once I open the circle at the end, I'm scared of people stealing from me. Lots of fear involved. But then, of course, that's just, life. People are scared of everything. Well, I'm scared of everything. I'm a person, though, so that counts. So, my statements are still accurate. I'm not applying it to everyone. I'm just saying that maybe this extreme obsession with deciding, oh, is this thing that I'm doing out of love or out of fear, when you're questioning whether or not you should do something, isn't necessarily the correct thing, because it can be from both. And, like, I understand that this is usually people's answers when people are like, well, what if you're thinking about doing a curse? Like, who the fuck does curses? But apparently people do that. But either way, generally, that sort of thing. That specific answer comes a lot, so it popped into my head right as I was doing other forms of magic. Like, if you're gonna apply it to one type of magic, you should apply it to, it's like, magic doesn't have that kind of rules. Like, if you're gonna sit there, like, this is all base by base thing with yourself. If you want to do something, chances are you should do it. Like, you're just holding yourself back by not doing it. And the only sorts of people that this would really matter with are the ones that are kind of like insensitive and don't care about other people. But I'm sure that most people care about everyone, or most people. I believe that humankind is good-natured at heart intrinsically, and then because due to many misunderstandings and misreadings of social existences, we manage to have conflict, as well as differing opinions based off of where we live, what our experiences are. All of these things just cause so many different sorts of conflicts. The moon was absolutely beautiful. She had a big, beautiful moon bow surrounding her. It was so huge and white and wow. Well, pretty much all of my technology stopped working whenever I wanted to use them. My tea infuser decided to empty itself without me noticing before I got to it, so I couldn't have tea while I was there because I hadn't finished making it before starting the ritual. I also tried using my lighter, and that stopped working, so I couldn't use my lighter when I wanted to for incense or the second candle spell. The first candle spell went wonderfully. The first candle spell was when I was charging, consecrating, and blessing these little figures. These little guys are going to be my statues on my Yule altar for the god and goddess. And they're so adorable. And yeah, so I was doing that because I haven't made my Yule altar yet, and I'm going to be doing that soon, and I thought that I could make them the god and goddess statues, because I always have them. I always have a god and goddess statue, and I felt that perhaps with the theme of the mythology around Yule time, that perhaps having lovers as statues isn't necessarily the most sensible thing to do, considering this is about the growing power of the sun rather than that sort of thing with the lovers. So I'm changing out the god and goddess statues, as I do from time to time. The reason that I was feeling pain in those particular chakras earlier, those are the most closed off chakras of all of them. I did a lot of chakra work. I'm pretty sure that it took a very long time. I did not manage to open completely with all of them. Every last one of my chakras were off. They were all on the spectrum of either closed or overactive, and none of them were at a balanced point. So I was trying so hard to make it so that I could align my chakras, but it wasn't really working very well. I actually did get a lot of progress. I just didn't finish because it needs to be something that I do on a more regular basis. Back when I originally had researched chakras, my chakras were aligned. Like there wasn't issues regarding my chakras. And then, well, pretty much when I started with, like, whenever I had done research at the beginning of my path, I actually was at a very, very good place energetically. And I've only managed to screw up my energy ever since I've started working with it. Well, I've done a lot more than that. I've actually managed to empower it, just power my energy as well, but it's kind of just, I think that I need to start letting things flow a bit more, and I need to actually work on my issues in more than one way. My chakras, I hadn't considered that maybe possibly that changed when I got, because like I can tell there's definitely been a change. There's been lots of changes. This year has been change after change after change after change after change. Nothing has been consistent. So it doesn't surprise me that this has happened. And so I'm probably going to be working a lot with my chakras over the next while. Another thing, I danced. I got completely in just my bikini and like none of this stuff. Like, I wore this out there because I knew it was going to be cold, and I actually did dump water on my head in the process of dancing because I was dancing with a bowl of water above my head, and it was fun and wonderful, but I got lots of wet, and I just felt so empowered. And if it wasn't for the fact that I live with other people, I probably would not have worn a bikini. I probably would have just been naked, because like I really wanted to be, but it's also too cold to stay naked. So I had set aside my jackets and my scarf that I've been wearing as a skirt. Yes. So I danced and I danced and I danced. It was so wonderful. I love dancing. Dancing's so much fun. And like, it was just, I was connecting with the earth because this was a dance that was particularly about the tides of the earth. So it was very, like, my feet enjoyed it. My wonderful bare feet enjoyed the ground so much. Ah, such a wonderful thing. I also evaluated what has died in my life and what has begun since those deaths, and and more like figurative death, because it was just generally over the past year that I was particularly thinking about. And then I was focusing on what I want to die and what I want to begin. I want my confusion and difficulty in regards to making decisions about my life in a timely manner to dissipate. I do not want to be confused anymore. I just want to be able to decide and make things. I want to decide in a timely manner things that pertain to me without destroying my entire life. Like, this is important to me, that I don't just destroy everything over and over again by not knowing how to make decisions that benefit me, or any decisions at all, because usually I'm confused and don't know how to make decisions, and I'm sitting there like, oh no, what do I do, freaking out, and I don't actually decide, and then everything falls apart. And so that's the thing. And what do I want to begin? I want a lot more friendship and love, as much as possible, between everyone. I want to be spreading this, and I don't want to cut anyone out of my life ever at all for any reason. I want to understand why people do the things that they do. I want to react appropriately to these things. However, it's kind of an intrigue thing with me. Like, I want to know and understand the people, because this is actually something that I used to do a lot when I was younger. Back when I was a freshman, sophomore, I would pay particular attention to people and what they would say, and I would analyze their entire personality so that I could understand them better, because then I would understand why they say and do certain things. And I had stopped doing this to everyone, except for very particular people that I had interest in. And I think that my obsessing over particular individuals would end if I just did that to everyone and stopped making it a special thing for me to particularly understand one or two or three people. No. I think that if I actually understand humanity as a whole, I can actually get along better with other people, and maybe possibly I can move forward with other people in my life as friends and not be that awkward person who doesn't know what to say. Granted, I don't think that would stop, but I'm just saying I would understand why people do things again, and that would be so wonderful. And then I considered how I can get that started, and ultimately I need to be myself in front of everyone. I need to focus on everyone. I need to be honest. That's another thing that I really want to do. I want to be honest in front of everyone all the time. Just like 100% honesty, no hiding things. And I actually have a really hard time with not hiding parts of things. Like, I usually tell the truth, because otherwise I don't know. I usually tell the truth, and then I just don't say the full truth ever, and I feel like the full truth is probably better, because then people can actually know what they're like getting into talking about, you know. They can just, I feel like if I'm going to be getting a better understanding of people, then they should be able to get a better understanding of me. And if I'm hiding things from them, then they can't do that. And so I'm not going to put up with shit, but I'm definitely going to be making a difference in the world. I know that if I understand the people around me, that I can do better for them, and they can do better for me overall. And the last and final thing that I would like to share with you guys is I made sigils. I made sigils for endurance and motivation because I feel like with all of the stuff that I'm doing right now, I have a lot to do. I need to be able to get up, get ready, and go and start on my day right away, and I need to actually stay motivated through all of this, and I have a hard time not just laying down and staring at a wall for hours when I think, oh, I need to do this. Oh fuck, I have to actually do something. And so I just sit there and contemplate my life for hours without doing anything, and I think, well, I want to do this, but what if this happens, or 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 this happens, and I'm absolutely scared of everything. But ultimately, I need to be able to I need to endure the general overall destruction that I've been feeling internally, because I self-destruct a lot, and I just need to stop. And I didn't really explain entirely everything that I think about when I stare at a wall, because usually when I'm staring at walls, I'm actually just contemplating my life as a whole, not just the individual thing that started the issue. And I'm thinking that maybe possibly, endure motivation. I can endure through that and then keep my motivation. And that's another thing. Facebook kills my motivation, so I need to chill on going on Facebook and just do that when I upload a video, and that's it. And, it's irresistible sometimes. But that's just how I need to exist, since I am uploading videos every day for the most part, unless I'm at somebody else's house or haven't finished editing a video to upload. So, I made sigils. The one here is for endurance, and this one is for motivation. I drew it on my wrists and on my feet. So that it was on me in Sharpie marker, and I will be continuing to put these on my body so that I can look at them and be like, I need to get through this. I can endure. I can be motivated. I can do this sort of thing. And I also added it to my affirmation window, the sigils that I made for endurance and motivation. I made them by playing with the shapes of the words. As you can see, I had many options for endurance. Motivation, I came up with that right away. I was just, you might be able to see the details better for them up close like this, and in pen, because Sharpie marker isn't the most obvious thing out there. So, I just wanted to share with you guys, what happened, because I never video my rituals. I take pictures through them if I see anything pretty usually, and then I put music and stuff. I probably did that earlier. I don't know whether or not I did, because I don't know how much pictures I got. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed hearing about my full moon. I absolutely enjoyed my entire full moon thing, and also I didn't actually get to take a shower earlier before all of this, so I feel like I'm gonna take a shower now, since all of this is done, and I'm gonna be starting an upload before I get in the shower, and I'm gonna cleanse myself and calm into day to be. So, yes. Thank you for watching, Blessed Be. If you'd like to watch some of my other videos, they'll show up right over here. And, subscribe, like, comment. I would love to hear about your guys' full moons or your plans for your full moon or anything else that you guys have to say based off of this video. I really appreciate you watching, and the more you like and comment and share this video, the higher likelihood that somebody else gets to see it. Liking and commenting actually causes YouTube to increase my chances of getting viewed just from the general search engine, so that's how they work right now. So it actually does help the channel if you do that, and I would super appreciate it. So I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Happy full moon. See ya.